Okay, so now that Photoshop has been successfully installed, it is automatically opened for us right here. But again, you can hit the open button and that'll take you to the home page. So again, Adobe Photoshop 2020, this is on the Creative Cloud, and let's create a new project. So let's just start off with kind of how this works and what we're gonna do. Again, I am pretty convinced that this is one of the best programs to use. So right off the bat, you can set a title. So for us, it'll just be, what will we import here? We'll import cartoon character. So we'll just write cartoon pick. And then you could choose the size of what we're doing in orientation. So you can make it vertical or whatever. So you could either make it vertical or what have you. Again, the preset and details, if we save document preset, what we're gonna do is do picture cartoon. And now this is a preset. So when you go to start a new project, you can just use this as a project as well. So there's different ways of doing this. Depends what you want to do. For me, we will just do pixels. So generally, if you want like 4K image, you want like around 4,000 pixels by 2700. And then if you're doing like HD, it would be somewhat like 1920 by 1080, and that'll be like a full HD resolution. We could do right here, I believe this is, yeah, pixels per inch or centimeters. Yeah, so 300 pixels per inch. That's what it's currently standard as. So let's do that. 8-bit, this is gonna be your color depth and all that. 8-bit is fine. RGB, all this works. This is all you need. If you're doing just a nice image that you're working with, this is more than fine. If you want, you can make the width and the height a little bit bigger, depending on, if you're gonna blow up this image. For us, we might actually do that. Let's do 5,000 by 2,500. And that'll give us a nice large size. So when we go to export, we don't have to do a lot of changes in size. So what we'll do is just hit create here, and then that's gonna get us started into the program. So let's just make this full screen. So now we are in the program for the first time. So congratulations, and this is the file that we made here. So one quick command already is just command plus or minus. That's how you zoom in and out. Now we're gonna close this right here, and this is basically your workstation. Yeah, so if we go to our applications, it's still gonna be doing things in the background, like doing updates, which we have options for, and everything else. So right now Audition is updating because I currently have that on this desktop. So let's get right to it. So how do we import photos? How do we get started in that sense? What we're gonna do is go to File, and we're gonna hit New. Okay, so that's essentially what we just did. So if you want to, since we already did it, we can keep what we have, or we can do it this way. There's also obviously the photo options where they do have some nice presets for you, art illustration, and what have you. So that's how you create a new file, but we already did that. Now, how do you import? So again, we're gonna go to File, Open, and for us, we're gonna be utilizing the desktop. So on our computer, that's what we're gonna use. You could also do it on the cloud, but we're gonna go to my desktop. That's where we're gonna try to stick with. I have so many projects on the go right now, but this is gonna allow us to keep it simple and straightforward for you guys. So this is the image I wanna use. I can right click. So what I can do on a Mac is I can just hover over it. So I just hover over and click, and this is a JPEG. That's gonna be the format. There's different formats you can bring it in as, but this is a JPEG image, and we'll talk about what that is a little bit later. And I just hit the space bar. This is 11 by 17. This is a project that we're going to be seeing either earlier on or later on in different lectures, depending on what you're gonna see. But this is an image that Kevin drew and then did some inking, did a really good job. If I zoom in, You can see this is a pretty legit image, and we could do a lot of work with this. So let's hit open, and this is going to open up this particular image. Now, so what we can do is, this is going to be your main tool, so if you hover over it, it will say, this is your move tool. Basically, you can take images and move them. So what you want to do, first of all, is double click because it's locked. So you want to hover over and double click, and that will unlock the image. And now you can get in all these things, which we'll get into a little bit later on. But we're going to focus on is just how to import a picture. And I'm just going to take one step further by using this move tool. We're going to move it over to our cartoon pick. Now, once we let go, you can see that this image is a little bit bigger. So if you hit Command T on a Mac, and then we'll also display different commands for Windows. So then as you make the file sizes bigger or smaller, you can fit it into your project. So for me, let's just fit it inside this landscape, and right here, we're gonna have room on the left and right, but this is already one way where you can take an image, hit enter, and then now if we zoom in, Command plus, now we've taken this image. This is probably a better composition for us. So now we could take this image. Let's move this up and out of the way. These are guidelines, by the way, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But now we've taken this image, and all we did was drag it over to a different, I guess, project, so to speak. So if you hit new, you're essentially kind of starting different projects, and you have layers within that project. So this is our background. And then this little eye, if you hover over it, it indicates your layer visibility. So again, if you just have this on and then you export, you're not going to get all the extra goodies that come with it. So this is the photo that we just opened, brand new, one of Kevin's beautiful pieces that he worked on. And then all we did was drag it over to this project and adjust the size. And then now we could take this and export that, but we'll get into that a little bit later. So now you know basically how to import photos. Next thing we're gonna do is talk about a little overview of everything. And then we're also gonna talk about a few shortcuts for you to get you going, get you started, and get you all excited about Photoshop.